Today we're going to be working on Chapter 10, Lesson 7, Negative Exponents on pages 252 and 253. Let's review the big idea for today's lesson. It says, a number with a negative exponent is the same as 1 divided by the number with a positive exponent. That's a lot of words. Let's break that down. Let's look at the first line. It says a number with a negative exponent. So we need a number. We could do, 7 or 20, or we could just do a variable. So I'm going to do x. And it says with a negative exponent. So, for example, if it was 8, that would be a positive exponent, but what we could do is put a little negative sign in front of that 8, and all of a sudden that 8 becomes negative. So it says that this is the same as 1 divided by the number with a positive exponent. So x to negative 8 is the same as 1 over x to the 8th. So these are the same thing. These are equivalent. Here the exponent is negative. Here it's positive, but we can see it's divided by 1. So here we have a number or variable a with an exponent that's negative. In this case it's negative 6, of course. So this is going to be equivalent to what? 1 over divided by a, but instead of negative 6 it's going to be positive 6, or just 6. So this is our answer. We remember that when we have a division operation, we're going to be subtracting the exponents. So here I see it's b to the 4th divided by b to the 8th. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to rewrite this like b to the 4th minus 8. And 4 minus 8 is what? It's going to be negative 4, right? So this is the first start. This is the first part, but we're not done. What we're going to need to do is write this like the fraction we saw just a moment ago. So b to the negative 4th power is going to be the same thing as 1 divided by b to the 4th, making sure that that exponent is positive. And this is our answer. Here I see we have two sets of variables. We've got the x's and we've got the y's, and we're first going to look at just the x's, and I can see that we've got the exponents 2 and we've got 4, and so I'm going to write that like x to the 2nd minus 4, so there are exponents, and we've also got the y's, so we've also got y 6 minus 2, and we know that we're subtracting, of course, because this is a division problem, and the rule for exponents is that we subtract with division. So when we're looking at this one right here, x2 minus 4, that's going to give us x to the negative 2nd. And then we've got y, 6 minus 2 is 4, to the 4th power. Great. But I'm looking at this, though. I can see that we've got a negative exponent. We've been talking about that all day. We're going to change that to 1 over x to the 2nd. So now, all of a sudden, we've got these two variables. So they're the same, except here it's negative, and here it's positive. And we're going to multiply that by y to the 4th power. And when we do that, we can put it so that it's over 1 if it makes it a little bit easier for you. And then we're going to multiply across. And anything times 1 is what that original item is. So y to the 4th times 1 is going to be y to the 4th. X to the 2nd times 1 is also going to be x to the 2nd. So the answer in this case is y to the 4th over x to the 2nd. That's it. We are done. So before we've been doing a few division problems, here we have multiplication, right? And so what we're going to be doing is instead of subtracting problems, we're going to be adding. We've got two x's, we've got two y's, so let's take a look at the x's first. We've got x negative 6 plus 2, and then y 9 plus negative 6. So let's take a look at this a little bit further. Negative 6 plus 2 is going to give us negative 4. And then here we have 9 plus negative 6, and that's going to give us y to the 3rd. And we're almost done, but not quite yet. We've been talking about what to do when we have an exponent that's negative. So I'm going to rewrite this like 1 over x to the 4th, right? So we've got these, oh man. Alright, so we've got 1 over x to the 4th, And then what I know is that these are basically the same thing. These are equivalent. I'm looking at this, I can see that this is y to the third. We can put that over 1, and when we multiply across, it's going to be y to the third over x to the fourth. This is our final answer. Here we've got our last problem of the day. This is again a division problem, so we're going to be subtracting these exponents. And I'm going to do a, 4 minus 2, and then b, right, our second set of variables, 5 minus 8. So I know that 4 minus 2 is simply 2, and 5 minus 8 is negative 3. So that's where we are right now. I know that we're going to rewrite this like, instead of b to the negative third, it's 1 over b, and change that negative 3 to positive 3. And we'll simply bring down a squared, and a squared is the same thing as a squared over 1. And when we multiply across, it's going to be a squared over b to the third.